What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Happy Saturday to those who are tuning in this Saturday morning. So today we are returning to the Zombie Sailor review videos. Yes, I know we just did a Zombie Sailor review video just a few days ago, but as I mentioned in that particular video, I kind of feel like when it comes to Zombie Sailors, I always have to break it down into kind of two different parts. Why? Because for whatever reason, Zombie Sailors, they never ship your figures all together. You guys know me. I always buy multiple figures because I basically have two collections. I have my mint on card collection and I have my loose collection. And what was it, Tuesday or so, or Monday, whenever I got my first batch of figures in. So I got those figures in, came downstairs. I wanted to make an immediate review video looking at the mint on card figures that came in for the new Zombie Sailors Heels and Faces Series 3 release. Well, just on Friday, I got, or was it Thursday? No, it was Thursday evening. I got my second batch of figures in, and I actually got two additional sets. So I was able to open up a set, and I just have a third set that I have listed now. So if they sell someday, great. If they don't, you know what? Over time, I'm sure they will appreciate in value. So there's no rush to sell. But again, if you guys are interested, hit me up. I won't sell it to you for like some judge up price. I'll sell it to you for the bare minimum. But the last review video, we looked at these guys, the Series 3 releases of Zombie Sailors. All we had to look at were the mint on card. This time, we're actually going to look at the loose display of the figures. Now, Jack Tunney, as I've said a lot of the time, when it comes to, and I'll call them managers, because when you look at like LJN, managers, and guys like the referee or Vince McMahon, are they managers? No, but they still have the little manager label on the card, right? So they fall under the umbrella of managers. So when you think about legitimate managers like Jimmy Hart or Bobby Heenan, Paul Bearer, Elizabeth, someone like that, or you think about referees, announcers, the podcast guys like the Chernoff guy, executives like President Jack Tunney. Yeah, executives. You could also throw Vince McMahon on there. Of course, Vince McMahon also falls under the realm of wrestler. He also falls under the realm of announcer as well. So, Vince McMahon is just all over the place. But manager types always seem to have some of the most incredible figures. A very simple and plain figure, but it's simple and it looks solid. And beautiful suit, man. I'm jealous of the freaking suit that this guy has. What is that? Nice little charcoal suit right there. Kind of like a little nice little design on the, I don't know if you guys could really make it out, but look at the little flashiness of the tie. That's pretty solid. Every time I see these figures, I always think Hasbro, right? And I'm so used to like going for the action feature, but the action feature is never there. Zombie Sailors, Grapplers and Gimmicks, Rush Collectibles, they don't have action features. Now your old 1990s bootleg Simba figures, they have working action features. Well, they are taking after the Hasbro figures after all. Mattel Retros, because again, they're taking after the retro, because they're mocking or they're taking after the Hasbros of the 90s. They got working action features, but they're really the only figures that come with that feature. It really was a unique feature for the Hasbros. And then later on, Jack Pacific, they had their thing. Original San Francisco Toy Makers, they had their thing with little buttons on the back, and arms go up and down, or they clap for it or something. But that working action feature that Hasbro put together, so unique, so amazing, and it's one of the great things that made Hasbro such a fantastic line of collectible action figures. Jack Tunney, awesome figure. Very small though. I don't know. The jacket, I mean, you can actually feel underneath the jacket. I like that. I like the fact that, I mean, it's not removable, which is great, of course, but you can still get your finger underneath there, so it makes it feel like it's an additional accessory. So I like that aspect a lot about the figure. So Jack Tunney is really solid. Next person we're going to look at is Hercules Hernandez. Now, this is one I was actually really excited to talk about, but it's also one I'm also really disappointed with. And the Hercules figure, this is exactly what I talk about when I say that certain figures are perfect only when they are mint on card. There are so many figures that I've looked at from the think about Mattel Superstars. At one point, I actually thought Mattel Superstars was going to move up and move into like the number 3 slot among my all-time favorite toy lines because I really enjoyed the Remco style figures. And it kind of gave you a nice mesh of LJN card backing along with Remco style body types and whatnot. But when you start taking the figures off card and looking at them, the feel and the hands and everything, it just didn't mesh well with me. Some work better than others. Hercules with zombie sailors, this is one of those many figures that I kind of agree with, where you look at the figure on card, this is a gorgeous piece. This is probably a top 10, I would say, among zombie sailor figures based on how it displays inside the package. But when you actually open the figure up and actually hold them in the hand, the grip of the figure, I don't like it. Something like this, I don't know why. Movable hands, removable wrists, why that's a thing. I don't like the fact that the wrists are movable. That makes no sense. Same thing over here. You can move the wrist around. That's one downside. So it kind of gave you a nice little Series 1 Hasbro Hulk Hogan flavor. Very similar, arm sliding motion type pose and whatnot with the open hands. So I was okay with that. So recently, Grapplers and Gimmicks, they kind of released a little prototype version of Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard. And the Brainbusters, you look at the figures, they look incredible. But then you read the comments, and people are hating on the Tully Blanchard figure because they said he looks really bloated, and they want to shrink the body down. I responded to those comments. I'm like, hell no, you guys are crazy. Keep the figure with his bulkiness the way that it is. Because if you're going to shrink the figure down, if you're going to lose that girth of the figure, you're going to get a figure like this. And this is like so tiny. The waist is so thin. I mean, Hercules was not exactly what you would classify as fat, but this is like this is a type of figure that you would use for a female wrestling figure. It is so small and thin. I don't like that part. So aesthetically on card, looks spectacular. As a loose figure, it just doesn't do it for me. Is it a great figure? Is it an awesome pickup? Is it one that I would recommend to others? Absolutely. Why? Because it's Hercules. Take away power and glory. Hercules in and of himself is a great character. So I am disappointed that it doesn't actually come with the chain. When I kind of saw the picture, I was really hoping that the chain accessory was like kind of hidden, maybe behind the figure or something, but it doesn't come with any accessories outside of the t-shirt. And it does say Herc on the shirt as well as the trunks. Now the shirt should be relatively easy to remove, but accessories, they always go missing. So if you're an adult and you're a parent, you're giving this to your kids for play or whatnot, I would just say tell your kids, don't take the shirt off. You're not exactly going to damage the shirt. I mean, it feels like it's thin, but I think it's strong enough to a point where you don't have to worry about it ripping or anything like that. So, I mean, it might, with enough play, yeah, it's going to get dirty and whatnot, dark marks, but still. As a collector, 20 years down the road, you'd rather have a dirty shirt than have no shirt at all, right? So, so I think I'm going to probably spend the most time talking about this particular figure because I think among all of the figures here, this is probably one of the two figures that I'm most disappointed with. And the thinness of the body, that's definitely the biggest drawback to the figure, I think. So, but Hercules Hernandez, number 2 of the 5 figures. Teammate Paul Roma. So, a lot of these figures that you get from Hasbro that were like, Scott Steiner and Kona Crush. Later on, Evil Crush, because the same figure. The Mr. Perfect figure, etc. They kind of have like the left arm's out, kind of like so. Then the right arm is kind of like out a lot further. These arms kind of remind me about very similar poses. And can I give you a quick example? I mean, it's not exactly 100% identical, but just kind of give you a comparison here. So, actually, it's not that bad comparison-wise. It's actually a lot closer than what I initially gave it credit for. But overall, good looking figure, fantastic pose. He's got like one of those things, arms where you kind of give him that whole Irish whip across the rope and a strong clothesline. So whether it's right arm under or left arm under, good body slam pose. So I think play pose wise, this is a fantastic piece. Roma has the same issues that Hercules has, is that the waist is super thin. Now, I actually think holding this figure that his waist might actually be a little bit, I don't know. It feels like it might be a little bit wider than Hercules. But that just could be my imagination. It could be exactly the exact same size. But to me, it just feels wider. Regardless, I still find this to be a much better figure. And they kind of stick with the same thing, though. I hate that. Why? Why are you making the wrists move around like that? I give Zombie Sailors a lot of credit. They've come out with some absolutely fantastic figures. And one of the things that, I don't want to say complaint, but one of the things I've always talked about is how the fact that the arms always kind of stick out like that, right? Looking at these figures, I really haven't noticed that with any of these figures. So they've made those changes, but the movable joints on there, not necessary. This right here, guys, that's all you need. I've always said that this right here makes the figure. But Paul Roma is a really solid piece, and outside of One Man Gang, probably the best piece of this series thus far. Most definitely. Next one up, Mr. Slick, Reverend Slick, whatever you want to call him. So we've seen the silver or gray suited Slick once before, right? And the one thing that we didn't like about the gray Slick is when you remove the hat, his head was like a Lego. It was like a hollowed out, squared off piece, and the hat was a Lego piece that just sat right on it. I was really praying that when they came out with the original piece and not the one of 1250, that they were going to fix that. They did not. They still have that whole Lego piece connection. Now, hat on, the figure looks fantastic. Okay. Display wise, absolutely gorgeous piece. And I think there's actually a third variant. So we've seen the gray suit, we've seen the blue suit, obviously. I've seen a white suit. And I don't know where I saw that white suit. I think I might have seen one on one of these advertisements. Or maybe it was on the Zombie Sailor website directly, but I think there was actually a third variant. Gotta pause for a second while I drink my coffee here. Don't want that stuff to get cold. Just like the gray suit, very nice figure. Beautiful colors and detail throughout. Blue or gray, it doesn't matter which one. They're both great figures. Again, I just wish they would have done something with the head. And just like the President Tunney figure, you can actually feel underneath the jacket, so it does kind of give you that nice separation to make it feel like there's an added accessory, even though the jacket is built on. And the tie, beautiful colors. So, I don't mind these figures. I don't mind the manager or manager type figures. I think they're all very well done. So, but again, when it just comes to the head, like, you guys seen the original LJNs. Slick just has a regular head, filled in head, circular, and just regular hat. Just sits on the head, just bam, you're good. I mean, I don't understand the reasoning between creating this sort of Lego squared off type of thing. It's not a good design. As collectors, we're going to buy it because it's part of the collection. But as fans, I'm pretty sure every single person who buys these are absolutely despise them. You would think a company like Zombie Sailor, they're like, hey, we're hearing the fans' recommendation. We're going to go back and we're going to fix these, but no. Horrible design, and I'm pretty sure they're going to do that in the future, because if you know that the consumer is still going to buy this regardless, why change the mold? So, people can come on here all they want and complain about a particular figure, but if they're giving you your business, if they're buying the item, then who cares? That's kind of how I view it. Me, if I'm a business owner, I don't want that type of negative publicity. I want to ensure my customer satisfaction, so I want to make sure they got the best experience possible. But that's just me. And of course, this figure, we've had this figure for a while now. I've gotten so many duplicates of this guy in. We've looked at him several times. One Man Gang, not even a question. One Man Gang, easily the best figure from Series 3. And quite possibly the best figure from the entire roster of Zombie Sailors, Heels and Faces. Dino Bravo comes close. Andre the Giant, Bash and Booger, have great figures. Trying to think any others that are like really super spectacular. I'm looking at the wall right now, but no, man, I think that the One Man Gang really is the cream of the crop when it comes to the Zombie Sailors figures. Fantastic fighting pose. Again, if I ever come down here and ever decide to do another top 15 of my all-time favorite wrestling action figures, regardless of which toy line they come from, I didn't have any Zombie Sailors in my top 15 before. Why? Because, yeah, Zombie Sailors had some incredible pieces, but none of them were worthy enough to be on a top 15. You didn't hold any of those in your hand, like, man, I just got to play with those. They're just that good. One Man Gang, he is the exception. I think that I would have to fit somewhere, and someone like Original San Francisco, maybe Jerry Sags or something would fall off the list. I think one of those figures would probably be a replacement. Somewhere in the bottom figures, or maybe Harlem Heat or something. But One Man Gang, Awesome fighting pose, incredible fighting pose, incredible look. I keep calling this a denim jacket because that's theoretically what the jacket is made out of in real life, but this right here, this cloth, this isn't denim. This is, I don't know what the heck this is made out of. It's not plastic or anything. It's just, but it's definitely not denim. It's not real blue jean. It's not a real blue jean jacket. So, aesthetically incredible piece. Definitely one of the best. Now, the one I don't have, a couple figures I don't have loose. This just came in on Friday as well. I can't even remember when I ordered this. I've been talking about these figures for a million years. Realistically, I don't know when I ordered them. It could have been a year ago. It could have been 4 months ago. I don't think it was no 4 months. But the point is, if it was 4 months ago, it feels like I've been talking about this forever. But no, I honestly believe I ordered this sometime in 2023. So I'm going to say probably in the last year. I've been waiting for this forever. It was the first and at the time the only 2-pack that Zombie Sailors had produced. And it was the Bloody Matt Cardona and the Nick Cage figures. And I know that I ordered this initially, and I've probably gone back several months later and ordered it again. Probably because I knew I ordered it and I got one for carded collections, but I probably bought one again for the loose collection. So after waiting for forever for this, I finally get the figures in. And I think Zombie Sailors also got fed up because every so often, and I'm a very patient guy when it comes to things like this. I realize they're pre-orders and it takes time to come in, but it's like all of these series have come and gone, and I've seen people have these figures listed on their eBays and stuff. So it's like, hold on a minute. I ordered this stuff around the same time as everybody else. How are they not only have theirs in hand and selling it on eBay, but it's months later. I'm still waiting for mine to arrive. So I've contacted Zombie Sailors from time to time, and I'm like, hey, I'm still waiting on my package. Where the heck is it? It's been like a freaking year. So I think that finally put a little pep in their step to ship me my package, but that's only one, and I know I've ordered multiple. So what I find interesting, you also have another Black Legion of Doom coming. So that is incredible. It's very reminiscent to the, what was it, Epic Toys? No, not Epic Toys, Asylum. The Remco style Asylum figures that we looked at before. So those things are pretty amazing. Yeah, I'm just kind of looking at the back of the card. You kind of see who's coming. So we've already talked about Macho Man and the Bloody Ric Flair. Those are doing relatively soon. Or at least the pre-order. So pre-order is September 26th. And then you get Bad News Brown, and you get Abdullah the Butcher. Who else is the other two on here? Mike Awesome, I don't know who that is. And Taji, who the hell is that? I can't even read that freaking name. It looks like Taji, but the writing is so close together and my eyes are so freaking bad. Let's just say that eye surgery did not help whatsoever. I still feel like I gotta be like this to read something, so. And it wasn't like LASIK or anything, but I've been talking about vision loss for probably the last couple of years. And it was supposed to stunt the loss of vision. Not improve it, but it was supposed to basically keep it where it is, but I don't feel any different. I feel like it's still getting worse and worse. Oh yeah, I'm definitely going to be 100% blind within a couple of years, there's no doubt. Memory loss, hearing loss, vision loss, it's all happening. But yeah, man, looking at this, we have every single figure. I mean, I take that back. I lied. Macho Man Ric Flair, the pre-orders we don't have. The Smart Mark Sterling, I got the carded figure. I still need that one loose. If anybody out there has a second Mark Sterling that they're willing to sell, please let me know. I need that for a loose collection. And again, these Road Warriors, I'm waiting on them. So, have another Legion of Doom to add to the collection. The accessories, I don't mind, like the weapons, but all of the different heads and hands, I hate that. I don't know if it was Mattel or Jag Specific that started that crap. The toy companies need to get rid of that. That is pointless. And they actually send this out. Little instructions about how to connect your freaking hands and how to heat them on to the figures and whatnot. I'm like, insane. So I'm going to probably keep this though because, I don't know, it's an extra advertisement. And I'm going to box this up, or I think I should have a case big enough to protect this. So, but I think this video was also important to show off the new 2-pack as much as showing off the loose individual figures. So, on Friday I also got in a good wave of Simba figures, you know, the bootleg Hasbro-esque figures. On like the same day, what was it, like July 22nd, I think, all of these sellers from overseas, Israel, Germany, I think I got some. I think I picked up one from the UK. I had to buy them all from overseas, and you know they sell for pretty good prices overseas. Purchase price wise, they're fantastic. They're like $20. Cool. You buy them here, purchase price $40, $50, $60 more sometimes. But when you're buying them from overseas, shipping, the freaking shipping is going to get you every time, and you're looking at like $50 shipping for one 4-ounce package because it's coming from Israel or it's coming from Germany, the United Kingdom, what have you, and it's so frustrating. When I buy from the UK sellers, like when I buy like Hasbro auctions, I try to win as many auctions as I can because I'd rather buy 20 figures and pay $40 shipping than buy one figure, pay $40 shipping, right? So, but I went simple happy and bought up all these different figures, and I ended up buying one figure from my buddy from Ohio Figures, Nathan. So one of the guys, he had 2 figures that I needed, but because I got one from Nathan, I didn't need that figure. So I just couldn't fathom spending $50 on one single figure. So there is one Series 2 simple figure I still need. And that's going to be Sunday's video. So on Saturday I should be able to get the last Simba figure that I have due in. And on Sunday I'll be able to post that video, hopefully, with all the new requisitions. So I thought this was going to take a long time to complete, or at least get a good number of Simba figures in, but shoot, between Series 1 and 2, I'm probably more than halfway through the collection already, and I've even bought a couple carded figures to boot. So am I going to get all of them carded? Of course not, but it's nice to have what I do. So this was a good week. I had a nice week of mixture of videos, some wrestling, some funny videos, some serious videos. So I like these type of weeks because, again, it's a little bit of something for everyone. So as always, guys, I do appreciate you taking the time to watch the videos. If you have questions, comments, please feel free to leave that in the remarks column. If not, as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye, everybody.